Welcome to Action Coaching. We're certainly delighted you joined us on today because we believe that God has a special coaching word for you. Allow me first of all to thank God for all of the Action Coaching partners who tune in each and every week for these little tidbits, I like to call them, on how you can be a more effective in your life. That is what coaching is all about. Coaching is not designed to change you. It is designed to bring the best of your ability out of you using your own gifts and talents. And so that's what coaching is all about. Everyone needs a coach in their life, or a mentor, or whatever title you want to call it. You need someone that have kind of been up the road before you, but that can give you some tips that perhaps, though you're traveling the same road, you're going to run into some of the same things. Now, I know every situation is different, but as I often like to say, situations may be different, but the principles are still the same no matter how you want to look at it. Excellence is excellence, whether you learn it at 10 or you learn it at 30, it's still excellence. And so there are certain principles that apply to your ultimate success. Now, what I'm going to do on Action Coaching on today, I'm just going to kind of give you an insight on something that I'm going to be dealing with on Action Coaching for the next several weeks, and even going to be dealing with it on our Word in Action message that we minister every Sunday. We're just going to make this a time of teaching on vision. You hear a lot of talk about vision, but very few people understand how to make visions come to pass. You know, a lot of people got goals and objectives, but a lot of times they just dreams, and they never get an opportunity to actually pursue those things that they have dreamed about and visualized about, and they've talked about all their life, and when you look back, you're still in the same place. I like to call it, you get caught in the I'm going to do syndrome. Those of you that are probably watching me now say, yes, I know what you're talking about. You know, you've said many times, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have more money. I'm going to have a better job. I'm going to turn my life around. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to exercise better. I'm going to make sure that my health is better. And as far as you go is, I'm going to. And you never achieve those things that you said you were going to do. And it's frustrating because when you look back and said 5 years ago I said this, and what if I'd have acted on it 5 years ago? I would be so much further up the road. Or a lot of times you'll say you're going to do things, and then you turn around and see somebody else doing the same thing you said you were going to do, and they're having great success, and you'd be like, I thought of that 10 years ago. So it's important that we take some time to help people understand what a vision really is and how that God gives us visions. But what God is saying is, I got so many open doors for you, so many opportunities that you can take advantage of. But however, it's going to take a vision to put action toward your opportunity. And that's what's so exciting about it. We live in a world and a time where anything is possible. We see impossible things happening every day. Situations that others said people would not survive, but they yet survive. Have you ever been on the road and maybe you've seen a terrible accident and you look at the car and the car's all messed up, it's damaged till you start saying, I don't see how nobody can come out of that without having some real serious hurts. And then you can stand there and say, well, you see the person on the side of the road, and you see the terrible accident, but the person that was in the accident does not have a scratch on them. And you start wondering in your mind, how in the world did they survive that? The greatest gift that God has given us as human beings is the power of vision. And we need to learn how to use the power of vision. The quote came one time when, in a book, I cannot remember the particular book, but it was talking about Helen Keller, who's known to have done great things even though she was blind. And they asked her the question, they said, don't you think it's terrible that, you were born blind, and we can imagine the things that you would be able to do if you could see? She said, no, the most terrible thing in life that I think is people who have eyes to see and cannot see. That's a powerful quote, because we got hundreds of millions of people every day who have eyes, but they cannot see, who don't even believe that there are bigger and better things in store for their life, that they can do even more than what they're already doing. But that's because they do not understand the power of vision. God gives us vision. He prepares us to carry out these visions. He wants us to understand that if we can see it for real, we can have it. So these upcoming action coaching sessions, along with our Sunday morning messages, I'm going to be dealing with the power of vision. What does vision mean? How do you know you have a vision? How do you feel when you have a vision? What is vision all about? How can I be for sure that my vision will come to pass? And in any endeavor in life, you got to understand that you got to have that driving force so that the vision that God have opened up for you definitely can come to pass in your life. So this is going to be an exciting series. This is going to be an exciting time. I want you to let your friends and neighbors know that we're going to be talking about vision, every aspect of the vision. Vision is something that's thrown around all of the time. But it's amazing that as much as people can throw vision around, they don't take much time telling us how we can know we have a vision, or how we should proceed in the vision, or the things that we have to do in the vision. Because I'm here to tell you, vision is a great thing, but vision is a difficult thing, because life is going to fight back. But however, life is not as strong as the vision God gives us. In Proverbs 29:18, the Bible says, where there is no vision, the people perish. But then another translation says, where there is no vision, people run wild. And you can't be satisfied in life when you don't know your purpose, when you don't know the vision that God has placed in front of you, the task that you want to go full speed ahead on it, and the joy and satisfaction that you would feel once you see the vision. Everything that God has done in my life thus far is because I got in position to see the vision that God had for me. And when you see the vision, you instantly get focused. And when you get focused, nothing can stop you from achieving those things that God have already done for you, but he just simply want you to walk in them. That's the strength of vision. That's the power of vision. And those are the things we are going to learn in the next coming weeks. So I want you to make sure that you start sharing with people now. And whatever platform you are watching Action Coaching on, hit subscribe, share, like, let everybody know that this dynamic series is going to be a blessing to them. Now, I don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you. Welcome back. I left off talking about how that we're going to be dealing with visions in these next several weeks, and that everyone need to be a part of this exciting teaching, because we don't want to just be dreamers. We want to be visionaries. What's the difference? Dreamers can dream, but visionaries cause things to come to pass in their life. And I am definitely excited about sharing this with you. Now I want to encourage you that if you feel you have a vision, or the vision being going around inside of your mind, or maybe your vision on pause because you keep saying, I'm going to the vision. But I want you to reach out to me via social media. Send your vision and your dream in to me, so that when we're teaching this series, you've already written it down, and every time you hear this message and hear this teaching on, you're going to say, my vision is going to come to pass. Because God got so many things in store for you that it's definitely going to be a blessing to you. Now, I know I got limited time left on today, but I want to start out by just simply teaching you the difference in a vision or just having sight. Now, sight is something that's given to us naturally. You know, most of us are shaped by what we see, or the environment that we're in. And maybe we grew up maybe not having much money, or not being able to have the things that we desire, or unable to achieve it because looking through the eyes of sight, we just simply adopted an attitude that that's not for me. That's for everybody else, but that's not for me. Because I grew up not having money, and the job I'm in right now doesn't make much money, so I'm not going to be able to have those things based on what I see. Did you not know that it is true when people say seeing is believing, even though it's a messed up statement in itself? When you see something, you don't have to believe it. If I see it's raining outside, I don't have to get up and say, I believe it's raining. Water is falling on me. I know it's raining. Or things like I can see that that's a large hill I got to climb. Well, the hill is in front of me. So I can see that if I'm gonna get up that hill, it's gonna be very difficult for me to climb. So a lot of people in the world have been taught through circumstances, through mind manipulation, to pretty much believe what you see. You can go to a movie and you can know in the movie there's no such thing as werewolves and vampires and all of these big monsters they have on the screen. But however, looking at it, it can make you just fringe and duck when the monster's about to bite somebody, because even though they're not biting you at that particular moment, but you see it on the screen because that's the way your eyes can manipulate you. You know, and most of us have been taught to do what we see. And when we do what we see, we talk ourselves out of the blessings of God. We'll start saying things to ourselves. Well, I already see that I don't look good as the next person. Well, how you know that? I already see that only certain people are gonna be millionaires or do great things. How do you know that? You can't just continue to walk through your life based on what you see. Because if you do life that way, you'll never achieve anything. I was born in the projects. And for a while there in the projects, when I looked around, I thought that was going to be my life. I saw where we lived. I saw the other people around me, and most of the people that were around me had been in the projects long before I came along. Some had become so comfortable with the projects that they thought that was just going to be their lot in life. Now, when I say projects, understand, I mean low-income situations, that you're born in a situation where things are not conducive for upper level movement at that particular time. And I talk to people. I grew up with people that said we've been here for 20 and 30 years, and this is the only life I know. And as I grew older, I was like, isn't there more to life than this? See, life is not about where you start. Life is all about how big is your dream. Where can you see yourself? The things that you know you can achieve. It's not about starting in a particular circumstances. It's about knowing the things that you can achieve. And to do that, to come out of one bad situation to another, then it's going to take the power of vision. What is vision? Vision is what you see with your heart. Can't explain it. You don't know how it's going to happen. But you just feel in your heart that that is what you're supposed to do, and that is what you can do, and that's the power of vision, because you feel it in your inner man. Though you don't see it physically right now, but mentally and in your heart, you see yourself in a better situation. You see yourself in a place that God is going to turn all of your circumstances around and take you into a place that's not necessarily new for you, but it's been prepared for you. I like to say that if you can see it in your heart, God has already done it for you. Now, I didn't say if you could see it with your eyes. I said if you could see it with your heart. Because you can see things with your eyes that can tell you to the contrary that ain't for you. but when you see it in your heart. See, the Bible says, with the heart man believes unto righteousness. What does that mean? With my heart, I believe that something I cannot see right now can become a reality in my life. Now I can't see it with my eyes, but I can see it with my heart. And that's the power of vision. Vision helps you to understand that you can see the invisible. Now understand what I just said. Somebody said, well, how can you see the invisible? Well, invisible means, though it's something you cannot see with your sight right now, that does not mean it does not exist. I can't see what's going on in another part of the world, but that doesn't mean it does not exist. There are people achieving things in places I have never been. And maybe I'm not achieving that where I am, but that does not mean that particular issue is not achievable. When you understand that though you may not have natural sight of it at this particular moment, vision gives you the spiritual sight that though you cannot see it, does not mean you cannot have it. Because all over the world, the things that we think have got us stuck, that we cannot do, there are people doing them every single day. They are achieving great things every single day because they understand the power of a vision. And that's what we are going to be talking about. I believe we're in a time of possibilities. That God got so many open doors ready for us to walk through. And I believe you're going to be able to see the door you need to walk through. Somebody said, well, how do you know it's a door? It's like this, the door is open. When I was a kid, you know, they'd have a door open, but the lights went on in the room. So the first thing I thought about is, before I go in that room, I got to find out what the light switch is because I want to turn on the light. I want to turn on the light and make sure everything is good in that room. Now, that's what my sight did to me. I had to see that everything was good in that room before I entered in. But vision functions just the opposite. Vision said the room is dark, but you walk in, though you cannot see where you're going, and know that God is going to turn on the light to your situation. And that's the power of vision. Now, I don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you. Welcome back. Now I want you to make sure that you reach out to all your friends and you talk to them and let them know they need to be a part of this vision series. I'm going to be talking on vision, explaining vision, so you'll know that you have a vision. There's a difference in having a vision and just having general sight. but you want everybody to be a part of this exciting message. I'm going to be doing it in action coaching. I'm going to be doing it in our Sunday service, because this is a time where the dreamers are going to come forth, and I certainly want you to be a part of it. So reach out, let your friends know, hit subscribe, share and like, so you'll know when we start talking about this vision, so that you can be blessed by it. Now, I certainly want to encourage every one of you that have enjoyed Action Coaching to make sure you sit down and sow a generous seed faith offering for the support of Action Coaching. We need your support of Action Coaching, because we can continue to expand it, grow, and do bigger and better things. But we're only going to be able to achieve that if you sit down and sow a generous seed faith offering on today. We're excited about it. When you got vision, you know that whatever you sow into God's work, God is going to bring it back in your life. So I certainly want you to sit down and sow a seed on today. There's a link in my bio that will give you a host of ways to sow to Action Coaching, and I want you to do it now. Avail yourself to every one of those links and sow that seed on today, because it takes vision to believe that if I sow something out of my life into God's plan, God will bring it back abundantly in my life. And that's what God is going to do. So I want to hear from you. Do it today. Once again, there's a link in my bio that'll give you a host of ways to give to Action Coaching. Well, the Lord bless you. I've certainly enjoyed sharing with you on today. And as I do each and every week, I want to encourage you. Share the word with a friend and keep the word in action.